Welcome to Mock Interview Pro. Today, we're diving into the world of interviewing from the interviewer's perspective. Whether you're a seasoned hiring manager or new to the role, mastering these questions will help you conduct interviews with confidence and professionalism. Let's get started with our first question. Can you share an experience where you worked closely with a team to interview candidates? What role did you play in that process? This question is all about understanding how you collaborate with others when it comes to interviewing. It's crucial to show your ability to work well in a team setting and contribute to a shared goal. Here are a few tips to keep in mind when answering. Talk about a specific team scenario and clearly define your role. Emphasize your communication and collaboration skills. Don't forget to mention the development of interview questions and why it's important. Share the outcome of your team's efforts and any successes. Reflect on what you learned from the experience. Let's look at an example of how you might structure your answer.
In my previous role as a hiring manager, I worked closely with my team to create a set of standardized interview questions. My focus was on aligning everyone with the criteria we were looking for, which streamlined our process and led to a 30% improvement in our hiring success rate.
By the way, we're only covering a handful of questions in this video, but I've prepared a free PDF with all 30 top interview questions for interviewer. It also includes example answers and tips to help you prepare with confidence. The download link is just below. Can you tell me about a time when you had to communicate sensitive information to a candidate? How did you manage it? This question checks your ability to handle delicate situations with empathy and professionalism. It's important to show that you can deliver difficult news in a respectful and supportive way. Here are some tips to help you craft your response. Choose a real-life example where you had to deliver difficult news. Highlight the importance of empathy in your approach. Explain how you prepared for the conversation. Share how you offered support or resources to the candidate. Conclude with the outcome and what you learned. Here's an example of how to approach this question.
Once I had to inform a candidate that they didn't get the position. I scheduled a private call to thank them for their time and effort. I explained the decision clearly, praised their strengths, and offered constructive feedback. I also encouraged them to reach out if they needed further assistance.
Describe a challenging decision you faced during an interview process. What factors did you consider? Interviewers often face tough choices, and this question assesses your decision-making skills. It's about evaluating different factors and making informed decisions. Consider these tips when preparing your answer. Think of a specific instance where you had to choose between candidates. Discuss the criteria you used to evaluate skills and fit. Mention any external factors that influenced your decision. Reflect on the results and what you learned. Structure your answer: situation, actions taken, and results. Let's explore an example to see how you can structure your response.
During my last hiring process, I had to choose between two equally qualified candidates. I evaluated their cultural fit and considered feedback from team interviews. I picked the candidate who aligned better with our values, and their onboarding was successful.
If a candidate becomes defensive during a tough question, how would you handle the situation? This situational question assesses your ability to manage difficult interactions with tact and composure. It's crucial to show how you can maintain a constructive environment. Here's how you can approach this scenario. Stay calm and maintain a neutral tone to ease the situation. Acknowledge the candidate's feelings to validate their response. Rephrase the question to clarify your intent. Encourage a constructive conversation by asking for their perspective. Focus on finding a solution, not forcing a specific answer. Here's an example response.
I would first remain calm and use a neutral tone to help ease the tension. Then I might say, I understand this is a tough question. Can you share your thoughts on this?
What steps would you take if a candidate doesn't show up for their scheduled interview? This question explores how you handle unexpected scenarios and your problem-solving skills. It's essential to demonstrate flexibility and professionalism. Consider these steps when addressing this question. Check for any communication from the candidate before the interview. Reach out with a phone call or email to see if they need to reschedule. Allow a grace period before deciding they are a no-show. Document the incident for records, noting any patterns. Evaluate next steps for filling the position if they are unresponsive. Let's take a look at an example answer.
First, I would check if the candidate communicated any issues. Then I would call them after a brief grace period to offer a chance to reschedule. Finally, I document this incident for our records.
Before we wrap up, remember you can get all 30 questions, example answers, and step-by-step tips in a handy PDF. Totally free. Just grab it below.